Hello everyone, welcome to a new video. I'm going to do a bookshelf tour, so I hope you have a lot of fun with it. I organize my bookshelves by genre, and then there's not really anything after that, like I don't do it by author or anything. Usually I try to do it by size or, whatever looks good, but outside of that, I mostly just organize them by genre. So please let me know in the comment section below how you organize your bookshelves. And if you're like me, I am constantly rearranging my shelves, always. And I always say to my husband, this is the final time, it's just going to remain like that. But then inevitably, a few months go by and I reorganize again. But anyways, I hope you enjoy this tour. I have 12 bookshelves to show you, so let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to start over here on my nightstand. These are my debut novels that I wrote. It's a YA fantasy about a girl that gets transported to a fantasy land and then she has to help save it. So I just keep those right there. And then underneath my nightstand, I have this little spot down here, and this is where I put all my Junji Ito mangas, and then I have a couple other ones at the end that are also hardback or bigger. And then right next to that, I have my shelves full of paperback thrillers, and I have to have a little step stool because I'm so short. But as you can see, I've also filled up the top there to get more space. So up at the top, I have all of my mass market paperbacks. And then down below that, I start with my young adult, and I do the hardbacks. I don't know if anybody else does this, but this is to help save space. So like all the rest of the series is back behind here. Whoops, I just dropped my book. Anyway, so I just tuck those back behind just to save space. I don't know if anybody else does that. And then same with this. These are all my Natasha Preston books, are all tucked back behind here. And then, of course, the whole sideways thing, which also helps on space. And then my young adult ends right here with That's Not My Name. Oh no, The Thicket is also YA, sorry. And then it starts with my adult thrillers. And I have my Jessica Rabbit because she's part of a detective story, so I just stick her there. And then these are all my Ruth Ware books behind here. This is my favorite one, so that's why it's in the front. Put her back. And then these ones are all like ones that I have two of. So there's like 2 Riley Sagers and 2 Claire Douglas and 2 Alex North. If I had doubles, I put them right there. Then I have my Lisa Jewell. And then I do have 2 CJ Tudors, but I just didn't have the space to put them with the other ones. Okay, and that's all of my adult paperback thrillers, so let's go on to the next shelf. I have to pull back my curtains right here so you can see, but again, starting with YA, this starts my horror shelves. These are all my YA hardbacks. And they're watched over by the Mistress of Evil herself. And then on this shelf, I have my Red Eye books up there. These cute little beadaboos. So those are all of those. And then these ones are my modern haunted house books. And then I get into like Southern Gothic and then just some randoms over here. And then I have my Ronald Malfi my Adam Neville, my Simone St. James, my Wendy Webbs, and my Ania Alborn books. And then at the beginning here, I have some possession stories, and then I have stories about changelings, and then I have some creature feature. If they were the same author, though, I put them together. Like I have my Christina Henry's, and the only one that's a creature feature is Near the Bone, but I just put them together. And then same with The Graveyard of Lost Children. That one's changelings, but They Drown Our Daughters isn't, but I just wanted the authors to be together. And then we have like some random ones at the end. Then on top of the next shelf, I have all my Stephen King novels, except for one, which is Fairy Tale, and I put that one with the fantasy. These are all witchy books. So I have my witch right here. I'll move her so you can see. My witchy ones come down here with my cute little black cat with his hat. And then Twilight starts off my vampire books. So these are all vampires. And again, it goes down to the next shelf. And then World War Z starts my zombie books. So these are all zombie or ghouls or, you know, cannibals, all that kind of stuff. And then below that, I have all of my manga series. Although I do have a random nonfiction because I didn't know where to put it. This is The Butchering Art. But outside of that, these are all manga. And the bottom shelf holds my supernatural thrillers, or ones that have like horror aspects to them. And I still have some space, woohoo! Then on top of my dresser is all of my R.L. Stine books. Well, I should say Fear Street because my Goosebumps are somewhere else, but you have the Fear Street sagas, and then you have the Super Chillers, and then you have their original series. And they pretty much go all the way across my dresser. And then over here on my cool little secretary desk from, looks like Victorian times or something, I have all my point horror. So these are all my R.L. Stine books that are point horror, and then my regular point horror, and then my Christopher Pike books. And then these are like vintage or from the same authors, but they're not point horror. I know Cameron Chaney's not vintage, but it was a cute little paperback and it kind of fits the vibes, so that's where it goes. And then I have a little bookshelf by that. And this is where all my hardback horrors go. And then the paperbacks are like the same size. Let me move that so you can see. And then comes down here and I have some more hardback horrors. And luckily there's still some space left. This one bothers me because I never know where to put it because it's such an odd shape, but... And then down here I have my hardback horrors that are like haunted house books. And then I have my Darcy Coates books, starting with her 2 series. And then below that, I have the rest of my Darcy Coates. And then on the end, I have another short story collection next to hers. Then below that, I have all of my novellas. They're kind of hard to see because the spines are so small, so I'll get closer. Then down here in my living room, I have my romance shelves, or bookshelf, I should say. So this upper shelf isn't technically romance, it's like women's fic or something. So I've got my, oh sorry, it got out of focus there. I got my Anne of Green Gables series and my Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants. This is all like women's friendship books. And then like this one is about women that have like a book club together and they all have different problems that's going on. And then you got Fangirl. There is some romance, like The Summer I Turned Pretty trilogy, and then some of these later ones are all romance, but a lot of these other ones, like Suburban Hell, they're all about like women friendships. And then I have my paperback contemporary romances. Let me move this. And then up here I have my Christmas ones. Sorry, there's a glare on some of that. And then I have my hardback romances, which is pretty much Book of the Month Club books. So I have all of those just to save room. And then I have a couple of random ones, and then I have my Christmas ones. And then I have some paperback ones from Anita Stansfield, and then I have some young adult hardbacks at the end. So that's the end of my contemporary romances. These are all classics, and then these ones are like Jane Austen type books, and then it goes into Regency romances. Let me move stuff so you can see. This series is one of my favorites. They're more steampunk, but they're very good. And then these are all, again, Regency or Victorian. And then you have some at the end that are like American pioneer type days, like back when it was a frontier town. And then I have two bookshelves in the corner that are my science fiction shelves. So on the top is my Ender's Game series. Love that series. It's one of my absolute favorites. And then we have Dystopian. These are all YA. And then these are my YA science fiction. The Scythe series and the Lunar Chronicles are two of my absolute favorites. And then with this Star Wars book, this starts my adult science fiction books. And then on the top of the next shelf are all my Dune books. And yes, I have read all of them except for Princess of Dune, which just barely came out. But I've read all the rest and they're fantastic. These are my mass market little tiny paperbacks. Got my Groots there that my husband printed off for me. Then come on down here. Got Rocket. Got some more science fiction. And then over at the end, this starts my like science fiction horror books. And then these ones are all like, starting with the Resurrectionist, these are like body snatching resurrectionist type books, which feeds into, of course, Frankenstein and all of retellings. Okay, my husband printed off and then painted this cute little plague doctor for me. I love it. I'm gonna move them so you guys can see what's back behind here. So going along with my Frankenstein, these are like other classics, and then other ones that have like body horror or like experimentation or mad doctors and scientists, that kind of stuff. I decided to put my own books up here this time. Usually they're on my nightstand, but I decided to put them with the rest of the classic retellings. Again, let me move some stuff so you guys can see. Again, I have my own books. This is Fall of the House of Usher meets Edgar Allan Poe, so I have that with my other retellings, like What Moves the Dead, my other Edgar Allan Poe books. These are all the classics. And then this is like my spiritualist, like seance type books. And then we have some books that take place in an asylum. And then back behind Edgar Allan Poe here, these are some more paperback horrors. These are all classic or vintage. Got some books from Hell books. Or paperbacks from Hell, sorry. I have some more like historical horror books. This is like Victorian serial killers. So you have like the first woman serial killer, and they've got like Jack the Ripper and H.H. Holmes and Lizzie Borden. And then these are like gothic horror stories, haunted house type books. And then over here by the piano, I have my middle grade books. And as you can see, the top is all kind of a homage to Harry Potter. I would take my Harry Potter dolls down, but honestly, they're a pain in the butt to put back up. I've tried taping them and they just don't stay. And they've just got such heavy heads or something, I don't know. But I have some Kirsten White books in the corner. And then over here is like some ochre books and some books by Lindsay Curry. And then I have the City of Ghosts trilogy and the Small Spaces Quartet and some by Jennifer Killick. And these are all my Alexander books. It's kind of like my my Han books. They're all stacked together because there's a lot of them. Then I have my books about dolls. And then other ones of the Bunnicula series, which I absolutely love. And then I have my Lockwood & Co. series. They're all back behind here. I absolutely love that series. I'm only halfway through it though. And I have my Goosebumps books. And then past the spine chillers, this starts just regular middle grade, so not horror anymore. These are all my Babysitter's Club books that I've had since my childhood. And then same with my Sweet Valley Twins, and then Sweet Valley High is stacked up. I got my Fable Havens and Artemis Fowl, Junie B. Jones, got some Nancy Drews. So this ballet shoes, if you've ever seen You've Got Mel, which is one of my absolute favorite rom-coms, I bought that book specifically because of that movie. Because if you remember, Meg Ryan talks about that book and I'd never heard of it. And then I just saw it out in the wild one day and I just had to have it because I love that movie. Which I know is probably weird, but my daughter made that. That's her little hand. And then my other daughter made this one. Same thing, that's her hand. Then down in the living room, I have some more like murder mystery thrillers. So these ones on top are my mysteries. Kind of like cozier stuff sometimes. And then I get into my hardback thrillers. And luckily, I still have a lot of space because, every month I get Book of the Month Club books, so I need the space. I don't know if you can tell, but besides the top, I tried to do like a rainbow thing. I don't normally do rainbow things, but because it was all hardbacks, I figured why not? They were all hardback thrillers, but it kind of turned out, but kind of not. It was like white and gray, turns into yellow, turns into green, turns into blue, which turns into pinks and purples, which turns into red. And then like red and black. And then up at the top, these are just like random books that I didn't know where to put. So you have like contemporary lit and nonfiction. And then I have historical fiction. So I have Revolutionary War up there. And some pirate stuff. I love the Bloody Jack series. Jackie Faber is such a great character. Then I have like medieval time stuff. Then I have like World War II. And then some Civil War. And then I have one French Revolution. And then like American pioneer times. And then I guess these are also World War II. So oops. Should probably stick them together. I have just LDS fiction down here. Down at the bottom, you can't really see because there's a chair in my way. But these are all like Jack Whalen books, which I used to be really into as a teenager. And then this is actually my DVD case. So I have like games and DVDs and stuff over here. But then on this side, I commandeered it, and these are all my paperback classics. And I have some Dan Brown books. I didn't know whether to put those with historical fiction, or I don't really know. But they were paperback, so I just stuck them over here. And then down at the bottom, I have like some murder mystery and cozy mysteries, my Sherlock Holmes and Agatha Christie stuff. And then over underneath my, up here, I have my railings to my kitchen. And my father-in-law made me these bookshelves to go underneath it. And these are all my fantasy books, which are mostly YA. So this is all my Cassandra Clare books, which I was obsessed with about a decade ago. Let me come up here, and these are Wheel of Time books. And yes, I've read the entire series of Wheel of Time. Sorry, the sun is like glaring through that window. And then on top, I have some books that wouldn't fit otherwise. And then these are all like fairy tale retellings down here. I have not read the Christina Henry ones yet, and I'm very excited to get to them soon. My husband says these count as 3 bookshelves because technically they come apart, but I disagree. They hold the same amount as a regular bookshelf altogether, so I just count it as 1 bookshelf. And then down here I have some adult fantasies, and of course Wheel of Time is also adult, but these are all my hardbacks, and then except at the end. And there you have it. Those are all the books I own. Those are all my bookshelves. I wish I had one dedicated library for all my books, but I just don't have the room in this house. One day the kids will move out and then I'll have a room to put them in. But for now, they're all over my house, as you saw. But anyways, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Tell me that you liked it. Please subscribe to my channel if you want to see some more videos like this, and I will catch you guys next time. See ya!